Hey, today, I mentioned yesterday that we're going to talk about priorities, and priorities are a big deal. I mean, I remember that the season in my life, early in ministry, it was about 1982, that I learned about putting first things first. And it changed the way I did life. So my priorities are pretty simple whenever it comes to spiritual things. Meet with Jesus first thing every day. Meet with Jesus first thing every day. Let His hospitality overwhelm my heart, so my heart creates a hospitable environment for who He is. I love our text and our passage. I love the fact that the contrast between these sisters is so significant, and Mary got it so intuitively. Martha had to learn it. I'm probably a lot more like Martha than I am Mary. I have to learn to trust the Lord. I have to learn to put Him first. I have to learn every day to focus my attention on Him. But when my priorities are like that, I discover that there is one thing that matters the most. That's the salient message of this text. When Jesus says that, Mary has chosen the one thing, right? It's a choice. And it's a choice to line up our priorities. I love the fact that Jesus talks to Martha and says, you're concerned about many things, but only a few things are necessary, indeed only one. He's going from this broader to this narrower perspective. You and I have to do the same thing. We have to zero in on what's most important, the one thing. The one thing Mary chose was to sit at Jesus' feet. It's interesting, in Scripture, that little phrase, one thing, is used several times. The psalmist uses it in Psalms 27, verse 4, when he says, one thing have I desired, to dwell in the house of the Lord forever. What was he saying? He was saying, my top priority is to be in God's presence. The Apostle Paul also said it in Philippians 3 verse 16, where he said, one thing I do, forgetting what is behind and straining toward what is ahead, I press on toward the goal to win the prize for which God has called me heavenward. What was he saying? He's saying the one thing that's most important is pressing towards the goal of being like Jesus, moving into the presence of God. Interesting enough, Jesus used it in Mark chapter 10, verse 21, where he was talking to the rich young ruler who wanted to follow Jesus, and he said he kept all the commands. And Jesus says, you only lack one thing. Sell what you have, give it to the poor, and come follow me. Well, he went away sad that day because he couldn't make Jesus his one thing. Other things pulled him away. The last time it is used is in John chapter 9, when the man who had been born blind had been given sight, and he was being interrogated by the religious leaders. And he said, one thing I know, once I was blind, but now I see. I think the one thing is being able to see what is most important. When we make priorities, when we simply make the decision to put Him first every single day, to start our day in adoration and praise, we will find that it changes everything else. Worship changes my ability to be present with God and conversely present with others. Worship changes my priorities and how I apply them from day to day. I hope it's doing the same thing for you. Thanks for joining me today in our devotions. My prayer is that you would recognize that the first order of business every day is to set our hearts on Him. I hope you'll do that today and tomorrow. I hope you'll join me then also. God bless. Have a great day.